Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the February 12th, 2026 meeting of the Memphis and Shelby County Land Use Control Board. My name is Mary W. Sharp, and I will be serving as your chairperson today. We will begin this morning's meeting with a roll call. Mr. Ragsdale, would you proceed, please?
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. Mr. Gill?
Here.
Mr. Norman?
Here.
Ms. O'Connell? Here. Mr. Orgel?
Here.
Mr. Thomas?
Here.
Ms. Wilbanks?
Here.
Vice Chair Lyles Wallace?
Here.
Chair Sharp?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Ragsdale. I would like to remind you that copies of today's agenda are located at the front podium if you need them. If you wish to be a speaker on any case that is on today's agenda, please fill out an attendance speaker's card located at the front podiums. Once you have filled out the card, please bring it up front and hand it to one of our DPD staff members located at the left podium. When that agenda item is called, you will be given an opportunity to speak. At this point, I would like to read our conflict of interest statement. The adopted policy of the Land Use Control Board requires that any member of the board recuse himself or herself from any participation in the discussion or voting on any matter on the meeting's agenda in which he or she may have direct or indirect personal interest. The member shall vacate his or her seat during deliberation on any matter from which they have recused themselves, and abstention may substitute for a recusal for the purposes of maintaining a quorum. I would like to now get approval of our minutes from the last meeting. May I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting?
Second.
I have a motion, I have a second. Is there any discussion amongst our members? Is there any discussion? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, there are not any director's reports today, so Mr. Ragsdale, may I please get a secretary's report for this month and an explanation of today's procedures?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I don't have a secretary's report, so I'll go into the procedure. At the beginning of today's meeting, we'll establish a consent agenda for those items where no one in the audience or on the board is requesting an individual public hearing. After the consent agenda is established and approved, we will move on to the regular agenda. For each case on the regular agenda, the DPD planner will give a presentation. Excuse me. This will be followed by the applicant's presentation and any testimony from others who support the application. The applicant and supporters will be given a total of 10 minutes. Following each speaker, the chair, will ask the board members if they have any questions for that speaker. Next, the opposition will be given a total of 10 minutes to present their case. Following each speaker, the chair will ask the board members if they have any questions for that speaker. Finally, the applicant will have a 3-minute rebuttal period under the same rules. Following all the presentations and after all parties have been heard, the chair will ask if the board members have any additional questions for anyone who spoke. Then the chair will close the public hearing portion of the case, entertain a motion on the matter, discuss, and then vote on the application. If an applicant or any speaker would like to be heard after the conclusion of the public hearing portion of the case, or if a board member wishes to hear any additional testimony from any party for additional clarification, a motion will need to be made along with a second and a 2/3 affirmative vote of the board is required to reopen the public hearing portion of the agenda item. If the public hearing is reopened, both the applicant and the opposition will be allowed an equal amount of time to provide additional testimony. After the additional comments, the board will close the public hearing portion of the case and deliberate and take the final vote. Again, if any member of the audience wishes to provide testimony in support of or in opposition to a case, he or she will need to fill out a speaker's card. These are available at the front podium. Speaker's cards are not required of applicants since their names are already part of the record.
Thank you, Mr. Ragsdale. At this time, I'd just like to recognize that this month is Mr. McClendon's birthday. Mr. McKinnon, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. On the 22nd, and happy birthday to you. Okay? The board is a supporter of community involvement, and we certainly welcome neighborhood comments and feedback. We're respectful of the fact that many of you have taken off work or adjusted your schedules to be here today. But we ask that your comments be made within the time frame allowed. If there are multiple speakers, please try not to be repetitive as to make the most of your side's 10-minute time allotment. Lastly, I'd like to ask you all to silence your cell phones so as not to interrupt or disturb anyone during today's proceedings. With our procedures now explained, I would like to introduce to my right Ms. Lisa Wilbanks, who will be this morning's consent agenda chairperson. Ms. Wilbanks will read items 1 through 13 as a consent agenda. Once the consent agenda is read, if you wish to discuss some of these items individually, please come forward and give us the item number and we will pull that case. We will then vote on the remaining consent agenda items as one vote, and following the vote, we'll hear the cases that were pulled individually. Ms. Wilbanks, will you please proceed?
Yes, ma'am. Item number 1, case MJR 2025-032 in Core City. The request is a major modification to PD 2008-325 and MJR 2022-047 to legitimize existing structures located at 363 Mulberry Street. Staff's recommendation is hold for 1 month. Item number 2, case SAC 2025-006 in Core City. The request is a right-of-way closure of approximately 8,800 square feet of Liddy Place between Georgia Avenue and West Carolina Avenue. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item number 3, case SUP 2025-035 in East Memphis. The request is a special use permit to allow 125-foot monopole cell tower in the residential single-family 10 district located at 170 North Oak Grove Road. Staff recommendation is hold for 1 month. Item number 5, case Z 2025-007 in the Oak Haven Parkway Village area. Request is a rezoning of approximately 18.22 acres from commercial mixed use 2 to employment located at 3260 Holmes Road. Staff recommendation is hold for 1 month. Item number 6, case MJR 2026-001 in East Memphis. The request is a major modification to PD 15-310 to allow a drive-through coffee shop located at 0 Hacks Cross Road on the east side of Hacks Cross Road south of Misty Meadows Lane. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item number 7, case MJR 2026-002 in unincorporated Shelby County. The request is a major modification to PD 317CC to allow an elementary charter school located at 7275 Billet Farms Parkway. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item number 8 has been withdrawn. Item number 9, case MJR 2026-004 in unincorporated Shelby County. The request is a major modification to PD 08-309CC to modify outline plan conditions and concept plan to align with existing site conditions, remove the existing building elevation from the approved plans and various site improvements located at 6195 Woodstock Cuba Road. Staff recommendation is hold for 1 month. Item number 10, case S 2025-052 in Fraser. The request is a 6-lot residential major subdivision located at 2717 Mountain Terrace Street. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item number 11, case SUP 2026-001 in the Oak Haven Parkway Village area. The request is a special use permit to allow vehicle sales in the commercial mixed-use 1 district located at 3575 Emerald Street. Staff recommendation is approval with conditions. Item number 12, case SUP 2026-002 in the Oak Haven Parkway Village area. The request is a special use permit to allow vehicle sales in the commercial mixed-use 3 district located at 3568 Lamar Avenue. Staff recommendation is hold for 1 month. Item number 13, case Z 2026-001 in North Memphis. The request is a rezoning of approximately 3.3 acres of residential urban 1 to mixed use located at and around 896 Tully Street. Staff recommendation is approval, and that is our consent agenda.
Thank you, Ms. Wilbanks. We have pulled item number 4. The items on the consent agenda will now be voted on with 1 vote, subject to the recommendation of DPD. If the consent agenda is approved, only item number 4 will have a full public independent hearing. By voting on the consent agenda, each board member is affirming that he or she has read the staff report and agrees with its findings, and where applicable, its recommended conditions. Can I get a motion, please?
Yes, ma'am. Move to approve item number 1, case MJR 2025-032 as a hold. Item number 2, case SAC 2025-006. Item number 3, case SUP 2025-035 as a hold. Item number 5, case Z 2025-007 as a hold. Item number 6, case MJR 2026-001. Item number 7, case MJR 2026-002. Item number 9, case MJR 2026-004 as a hold. Item number 10, case S 2025-052. Item number 11, case SUP 2025. Item number 11, case SUP 2026-001. Item number 12, case SUP 2026-002 as a whole. And item number 13, case Z 2026-001.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any discussion?
Madam Chair, please show me as recused from item number MJR 2026-002.
Thank you. Okay, is there any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. Okay, we're gonna go to the regular agenda with Mr. Gill.
Item number 4, SUP 2025-037, Whitehaven, special use permit to allow a convenience store with gas pumps in the commercial mixed-use 1 district located at 1681 East Range Road.
Is the applicant here? If so, please come up and introduce yourself, and then we'll hear the case.
David Bray with the Bray Firm, 2950 Stage Plaza North.
Thank you. Okay, we're ready to hear the case.
Good morning, Mason Ostatnia with DPD. This is a special use permit for a convenience store with gas pumps. It is located on southwest of Memphis area, and here is the vicinity map. The zoning is CMU1, and since January 1st, 2021, those who were applying for convenience store with gas pumps had to apply for a special use permit. The zoning is CMU1, as mentioned. On the right side, we can see the land use map. It is a mix of commercial, single-family home, and institutional. And here are a few pictures of the site. If you take a look at the bird view of the pictures, approximately 85 feet from the proposed use is a church across the street, and also on the west side of this property, which is approximately 195 feet, the residential area starts. And if we take a look at this side of the street, there is another gas station here, which we believe there is not a necessity to have 2 gas stations in the same location. Here is a site plan that the applicant proposed. They are making some changes, such as providing improvement to the sidewalk and the streetscaping. Here is the proposed elevation for Rains Road. Memphis 3.0 believes that this is not a consistent use for the future land use development. In conclusion, the staff believes that this use is not an appropriate use for the neighborhood. Hence, we are recommending rejections. However, if approved, here is the list of the conditions. That concludes my presentation. Happy to answer any questions.
Thank you very much. Does the board have any questions of staff at this time? Okay, hearing none, we're ready for you to come and make your presentation.
Good morning. Do we have any opposition signed up to speak?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure I reserved time for after that. This was supposed to be before you last month, and when we had our first neighborhood meeting, we had several neighbors show up, and including the councilwoman for that district. And we originally had the store facing to the east. That was one of the concerns because of the way the store would be oriented, and the apartment complex to the south. Obviously, not surprising, there were objections to the use. People would prefer that it be vacant. People would prefer some other use. But one of the things that we got to in that meeting was the fact that the ownership of this was the same as the ownership of the strip mall next door. And because of that, the owners were willing to upgrade that center as well. So that's why the site plan now includes that existing building with new curbing that would go in. Can you go back to the site plan? New landscaping to bring that into compliance with the UDC. If you look at the street pictures, can you go to the street picture that shows the Rains Road view? Yeah, so you can see the existing building that's on there is the small yellow orangish building, chain link out front, doesn't meet anything close to the current code. And then you had the building with the blue awning to the right. And that's, the parking lot's not in great shape. There's no landscaping. The asphalt goes all the way to the back of the sidewalk. The Memphis 3.0 comments reference the fact that, this is supposed to be more pedestrian friendly. Right now there's 4 drive aprons across the frontage of this, located too close to the corner by current standards, that would all be closed and replaced with new curb and gutter and sidewalk, and new handicap ramp would probably also be necessary at this location. So we're trying to address all that. We've added the other site into it. As it currently sits, these 2 properties combined on the assessor's site are referenced at a value of $130,000. The proposed improvements that we're talking about for this are $3 million. So it's going to significantly change the property tax rolls. It would be new development. It would refresh the area. I know it's a C-store, and I know it's a C-store in CMU1 zoning. So I was shocked at the staff recommendation, and that this wasn't on consent. I understand the concerns. But the owner is trying to do something that would improve the corner, and if you look at what's there now, this would be a substantial improvement from what's there. I'll reserve the rest of my time for after the opposition.
Thank you. We're ready for the opposition. We have 1 card. If you give us your name and address, please.
My name is Milton Poe. I reside at 4196 Paula Drive, Memphis, Tennessee 38116. I stand in opposition to this SUP primarily for 2 reasons. One is an oversaturation. There are currently 6 convenience stores selling gasoline near the proposed site, which is located at the Rains and Mill branch. There's a C-store, convenience store directly across the street. There's 1 store that is located across the street. There are 3 stores located 1 mile north of the corner, and there are 3 stores located 1 mile south of this intersection. There will be a total of 26 gas pumps in that location. Also, safety is a big issue. Once this proposed C-store is located there, we have traffic that will be at Rains and Mill branch that will create congestion for vehicles trying to enter and exit that property. There's a school there at the situation at Robert Church Elementary School that is there. So during the morning and afternoon hours, this will create a unnecessary safety risk to our children. In conclusion, the proposed addition of this C-store and gasoline pumps will not add to our neighborhood, but take away from it. It will certainly not provide us any benefits, but will most assuredly lead to decay. In addressing what the previous speaker said about improving the property, this could be done without pumps being there. It could have already been done. Why it hasn't been done, I don't know. It's up to them to answer that question. In addition to that, we just don't need the additional gas pumps there. So I would hope that you would consider my objections and vote to reject this proposal. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any questions of Mr. Poe at this time? Any questions? Okay, we're ready for the rebuttal.
Thank you. I failed to mention in the when I was first talking, we did have a second neighborhood meeting this past Sunday to show the revised plan, the fact that we had turned the building to face to the north and that we had added the landscaping and incorporated the two areas together. As I said before, it's difficult because of the current atmosphere towards C-stores. And I understand the concerns about saturation in the market, but that's a market choice for owners to make. But this would be an improvement to what's there. I encourage you to look at the street view and see what's there and what the tax revenue that's being produced by that is and what this would offer. Thank you for listening to me. Happy to answer any questions. And we are fine with the conditions. We realize the proximity to the church. We have no problem, no beer sales. That's fine.
Okay, any questions at this time? Go ahead.
So currently, it looks like it is a brake and oil change. So that building will be gone.
Yes, ma'am.
And there won't be any type of motor vehicle servicing or anything like that?
No.
No.
So that building would be gone. The chain link that you see would be gone. Actually, the 4 aprons that serve the brake shop would all be gone. On to the west of the site, we would share an apron with the existing retail center, but that's farther away from the intersection. And we would have a drive apron to the south, but that's also far enough from the intersection to meet the current requirements. So that whole streetscape will change. You can see on the site plan, it'll be landscaped all the way around. There'll be a grass strip. It'll look very different than it looks today. And it'll look very different than the store across the street.
Any? Go ahead.
Is there, am I correct that there is a gas station on the east side of Mill Branch? Right across
Yes,
the
sir.
street? Okay. And has there been any conversation with the church about this proposed addition?
I don't believe the church had any representatives at the meeting. The concern from staff was the proximity for beer sales, because obviously that's a big thing with a lot of these stores. This owner does not have beer sales, so that would not be an issue.
Okay. And then any traffic, and what would be the increase of traffic in that space? Because that's a highly utilized intersection.
When we get to the engineering review, there would be a traffic impact. C-stores typically are going to deal with a lot of capture traffic. They're getting folks that are already coming in. It would be more traffic than what the brake shop has now as far as coming in, but I don't know how much it would generate as far as new traffic in the area. One of the things that will improve, though, is getting rid of those 4 intersections, or 4 drive aprons. Those 4 drive aprons do not meet, they probably didn't meet the standards when they were built, but at that time, that was back when a lot of corners had continuous apron all the way across, and we don't do that anymore. So traffic flow at the intersection will be improved by the closing of those aprons, as will pedestrian access to getting to the crosswalks.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Hearing none, we're going to close the public portion of this meeting. And we are ready, sir, for a motion.
Motion to approve SUP 2025-037, Whitehaven Special Use Permit to allow convenience store with gas pumps in a commercial mixed-use district.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Poe, I appreciate you coming out today. Looking at this one, it was definitely one of the ones that was, the board knows I kind of get into I don't even want to be a part of it because, you know, when it comes to community and privatized corporations doing, you know, business, I like to have a fair chance for the community and fair chance for the corporation as well. But in this situation, just looking at what's already there, it's like, hey, what could you do better? And I totally understand not having another gas station and things like that, but in order to put something there that's nice, that would look much aesthetically better from a commercial appeal, my vote on this is going to be yes.
I agree.
Okay, any further discussion?
I would like to see, is it possible for us to add to the conditions, no gaming and no lottery sales? Is that allowed?
There is a condition regarding alcohol sales, but we don't have any for lottery sales.
Right, I'm asking, can that be added?
We actually added it, but we had a conversation with the applicant and we decided to remove that condition.
I believe that they had that as a condition originally, and then they asked to remove it. So we can actually, we can absolutely add it back if that's the
Well,
will of
the
the
board
board.
would, I would like to add that back. I don't
Okay.
like going in and having all the games and the
With-
people just standing there, just constantly redoing their lottery tickets.
Okay.
But that would be.
So, so
I'd
you
like
make
to
a
do that as a
okay.
friendly amendment.
Can we do that as a friendly amendment without objection? No objection to that. So yes, we can add that back. So.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, I assume we're ready to vote, and we will do that on an individual basis.
Yes. Mr. Thomas? No. Mr. Orgel?
No.
Mr. Vince O'Connell?
Yes.
Mr. Norman? No. Mr. McKinnon?
Yes.
Mr. Gill?
Yes.
Ms. Wilbanks?
Yes.
Vice Chair Lyles Wallace? Chair Sharp?
No.
We have 5 no,